की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। कंदर्प अगणित अमित छवि नवनीर नीरज सुंदरम पत पीत मानहु तरित रुचि सुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। भजु दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकंदन रघुनंद आनंद खंड कौशल छंद दशरथ नंदनम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदारे अंग विभूषणम आजानुभुज सर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर दूषणम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। इति वदति तुलसीदास शंकर शेष मुनि मनरंजनम माम हृदय गंजनिवास गुरु कामादिखल दल गंजनम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। बोले सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। बाल समय रवि भक्ष लियो तब तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह संकट काहू सो जात न तारो। देवन आनी करी बिनती तब छार लियो रवि कष्ट निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। बाली की त्रास कपिस बसे गिरि जात महामुनि निहारो। चौकी महामुनि श्राप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो। के द्विज रूप लिवाए महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
अंगद के संग लैन गए सिय, खोज कपीश बैन उछारो। जीवत न बची हो हम सो, जो बिना सुधी लाए इहा पग धारो। हेरी थके तत सिंधु सबे, तब लाई सिया सुधी प्राण उबारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संगत मोचन
नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
रावण त्रास दई सिय को, सब राक्षसी शोक ही शोक निवारो। ताही समय हनुमान महाप्रभु, जाए महारजनी चरण। चाहत सिया शोक सो आगे, सो दे प्रभु मुद्रिका शोक निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन
नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
बाण लाग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के, तब प्राण तजे सुत रावण मारो। लय गृह वैद्य सुषेण समेत, तबे गिरि द्रोण सोबीर उचारो। आन सजीवन हाथ दई, तब लक्ष्मण के तुम प्राण उबारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कभी संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। रावण युद्ध अचानक कियो, तब नाग की फांस सब सिर दारो। श्री रघुनाथ समेत सबे दल, मोह भयो यह संकट भारो। आनी खगेश तबे हनुमान, जो बंधन काति सो त्रास निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो।
बंधु समेत जब यही रावण, लय रघुनाथ पाताल सिधारो। देव ही पूजी भली विधि सो, बल देह सब मिली मंत्र विचार। जाय सहाय भयो तब की, अहि रावण सैन समेत संहारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट
मोचन नाम तिहारो।
वीर महाप्रभु देख विचार, कौन सो संकट मोर गरीब को, जो तुमसे नहीं जात है तारो। बेगी हरो हनुमान महाप्रभु, जो कछु संकट होए हमारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में, कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट
मोचन नाम तिहारो।
ओ नाम तिहारो, नाम तिहारो,
नाम तिहारो, नाम तिहारो।
संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो। लाल देह लाली लसें, अरुधर लाल लंगुर। वज्र देह दानो दलन, जय 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 कपिसूर पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोले बजरंगबली भगवान की जय। भजनम भूमिका दो भजन।
हे दुख भंजन मारुति नंदन, सुन लो मेरी पुकार। सुन लो मेरी पुकार। पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार, हे पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार। हे दुख भंजन मारुति नंदन, हे दुख भंजन मारुति नंदन, सुन लो मेरी पुकार। पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार, हे पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता। दुखियों के तुम भाग्य विधाता, दुखियों के तुम भाग्य विधाता। सिया राम के काज सवारे, सिया राम के काज सवारे। मेरा कर उद्धार, पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार, हे पवन सुत बिनती बारंबार। अपरंपार है शक्ति तुम्हारी, अपरंपार है शक्ति तुम्हारी। तुम पर विजय अवध बिहारी, तुम पर विजय अवध बिहारी।
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। राम ही सौंपी जानकी नाई, नाई कमल पद्मात सूत कहो राम समर्पी बन, जाई मजिह भजिह रघुनाथ। नाथ दीन दयाल रघुराई, बाधव सन मुक गए न खाई। चाहिए करण सो सब करि बीते, तुम सुर असुर सरासर जीते। संत कहहि अति नीति दसानन, चौथे पन जाई नृप कानन। तासु भजन कीजिय तह भरता, जो करता पालक संहरता। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
सोई रघुबीर प्रणत अनुरागी, भजहु नाथ ममता सब त्यागी। मुनिवर जतनु करहि जेहि लागी, भूप राजु तजि होहि बिरागी। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय
जय राम,
श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। अस कहि नयन नीर भरी, गहि पदि कंपित गात। नाथ भजन रघुनाथ ही, अचल ही होई अहि बात। सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। It's a very beautiful part of the Ramayana. Every part of the Ramayana is so beautiful. But we have heard of Ram and Ravana, their battle. So Ravana, in his battle, many people advise him against his actions. The closest people to him advise him against what he was doing. His wife, his sons, his ministers. I think I read to you before the discussion between Mandodari and Ravan. Mandodari was the wife of Ravan. Closest to us is our partner, your wife, your husband, or whoever it is we are married to. Those are the people closest to us in proximity, emotionally, physically, and all that. They know you, what is good for you, they know what's bad for you, and the whole works. So his wife kept advising him. And in this part of Ramayana, Lanka Kand, this took place in Lanka. What happened here? Mandodari says, Ravan, that bow your head. Rama hi sopi janaki nai kamal padanat. Bow your head to the feet of Bhagwan Ram. No? Bow your head to the feet of him. Imagine Ravan, the mighty demon who is so knowledgeable, yet he is an enemy of God. How can you be so educated? How can one be so knowledgeable? How can someone command the presence of Shiva yet be the enemy of God? Right? Sometimes, I always say our knowledge is supposed to purify us, but sometimes our knowledge poisons us. Our knowledge poisons us. Mandodari advised her husband, Naat deen dayal raghurai badav sanmukh gaye na khai. कि हे नाथ श्री रघुनाथ जी तो दीन दयालु है, बाघ भी शरण होने वे लंबा पर जाने वा नहीं खाता। आपको जो कुछ करना चाहिए था वह सब तो आप कर ही चुके। आपने देवताओं, राक्षसों तथा चर अचर सभी की जीत लिया। हे रघुनाथ, bow to Ram Bhagavan, because to him the gods, the demons, everybody else bow to him. So Ravan, after hearing all of this, Mandodari went on, and in many cases the ignorant, the perverted mind, the twisted mind, the intellect that is supposed to enlighten you, all of that doesn't work. It all turns against you. When everything turns against you, your senses, your intellect, your mind, everything turns against you, no matter who come in front of you and say the word of God or the word of peace, you will not listen to them, because you've got nothing left. You've got no intelligence to process what people are telling you when God has left you. When God has left our home becomes a place of torment. When God has left our body, our mind, what happens? No matter what we put inside, it will never be digested. Anyways, he says, you don't know what you're talking. So he went down and he sat on his throne. When he sat on his throne, he said he gathered all his counsel, and he said, somebody give me some advice. And what happened then? When he said, somebody give me some advice, he had a son. Ravana had a son by the name of Prahasta. Prahasta, remember, these men were demons. They were born from a demon and they were raised by a demon. They were born from a demon and raised by a demon. So naturally you will expect them to behave like a demon. But all of them are not turning against Ravan, but they are waking up. They are reasonable. Prahast, you know what he did? He went to his father. Sabke bachan shravan suni, kah prahast kar jori, niti virodh न करहि प्रभु मंत्र ही मत अति थोरी. Right? Ravana asked all of them, what do you advise we do, everybody? They say, no, bears and monkeys, we eat them for our dinner. Don't worry about the army that Ram is building. We eat the bears and monkeys for dinner. We will burn them and destroy them. Prahast now, sabke vachan Shravan Suti Kaha Prahasta Karajoy. Prahasta clasped his hands and he said, Father, Kahi Sachiv Tav Thakar Sohati, Kahi Sachiv Sab Thakur Sohati, Nath Napur Av Ehi Bhati. Ram Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Siya Ram, Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram.
Baridhi Nadhi Eki Kapiyava, Baridhi Nadhi Eku Kapiyava, Ta Sucharit Man Mahu Sab Gava. Ram Siya Ram,
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. शुधा न रही तुम ही तब काहू, शुधा न रही तुम ही तब काहू, जारत नगर कस परिखाहू। राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम। Prahast went to his father, the brave son, and he says, all father kahi sachiv taha thakara sohati. Hey Prabhu, my father, all your ministers, them who are advising you, they tell you only that which is pleasing to your ears. They tell you what you want to hear, my father. But that way, Father, you cannot win success. You cannot win success when those around you only tell you what you want to hear. My father, a stray monkey leapt across the ocean, came hither, and all the people are still singing his praising, that wild monkey. You remember him? Ravan thought about it. He said, yes, I remember that guy, Hanuman. He says, everybody's still praising him. And he went back. Prahas looked at the audience. Prahas says, were none of you hungry then? All of you saying you're eating monkeys and bears for your breakfast and dinner? Were none of you hungry when that monkey came and destroyed everything here? Why did you not seize him and devour him, destroy him when he set fire to your city, my father, and all the ministers? Your ministers have given you, my Lord, an advice which, though pleasant to the ear, is fraught with future trouble. Fraught with future trouble. You know froth? It's like you go to a certain coffee shop and they give you the froth on top, and you look at it and you think that there's so much in there, but when you look at it deep down inside, the cup is empty. And it's just froth. We say Guyana, froth. When people are talking so much and their mouth are so sweet sometimes, we say a takshir froth. It means at the top it looks so beautiful and nice, but it's empty. Prahast is saying, Father, all that your minister is advising you is like that. It looks good on the top, but it's empty. One meaningful discussion Prahast said here, Kahahi sachiv ahita kurahati. He said that when people are telling you things just to please you, you know, if you want to really fan the fire, as we say, you know what somebody likes to hear, and you tell them exactly what they like to hear. You tell them exactly what they like to hear. If you do that, that person will like you. Because I think all of us know how to play that game. It happens at work, it happens at the home, it happens between parent and children. You know what they want to hear, you tell them that, you praise them up a little bit, and everything is okay. Prahast is saying, Father, that is a recipe for disaster. Anytime you surround yourself with people who tell you things that is pleasing to your ears, you know, you good, everybody else bad, then what happens? It's a recipe for disaster. We always know at work, there is a saying at work that you must hire people who are smarter than you. Hire people who are smarter than you and who are more hardworking than you, because they will allow you to shine. They'll make your department look good, right? Now maybe one day they'll take your job and think that's fine. But they will make your department shine, right? But to have people around you who are telling you all the time, you do good or whatever it is, it's not a healthy thing. It's not good for leadership. It's not good for anybody. So, Prahasta's father, that is the problem. They're all telling you things you like to hear. But listen, Father, my words. Tat vachan, tat means father. vachan means, my words. Tat vacham mama suno atyadar. हे तात, मेरी बातों को अत्यंत आदर पूर्वक गौर से सुनिए कि मुझे मन में डरपोक ना समझ लीजिए। संसार में ऐसे मनुष्य झंझ के झंझ है जो मुंह पर मीठे लगने वाली बात की सुनते कहते हैं। Father, listen to my words with due respect and account me to not be a coward. I'm not a coward. I can stand up. I'm not standing up to you, Father. I'm standing up against the evil. Listen to my words. There are a multitude of men in the world who are given to hearing and uttering pleasant speeches. He goes back to this. Many people like that who are given to that. Hey, they want to listen pleasant speech and they want to give pleasant speech. But he said, there are few, my Lord, who care to speak and listen to words sound unpleasant to the ear, but are most salutary, that are most welcoming in their life. There are very few people who will stand up and speak the truth. It's a disease in our society today, where we only have to say things that will make people happy, right? It is wrong these days because all of us want to be in the good books of people. So although you see things are going wrong, you got to ignore it and move on. That is the motto of today, because people will not like you, and we want to be liked by people. We want to have a big fan following, so we just ignore everything and let that happen. He said there are a few people who will listen to words that are unpleasant and who will speak unpleasant words. It's not you're speaking unpleasant words. You're speaking sometimes things that are good for people. Hey, you think when they put an injection in your hand, that is any pleasant thing? When you drink certain medication and it tastes so bitter and whatever, do you think it's pleasant? It's not pleasant. There are many, many things that we do in life that are not pleasant. But we still do it because we have to. We have to do it. That is the philosophy of Gita. That which tastes like poison at first, but nectar at the last. Remember chapter 18? That which tastes like nectar at first, that which tastes like poison at first, but nectar at last. That is called sattvic happiness, the right form of happiness. It's when you struggle. It's when you work hard and you struggle. It is unpleasant, right? You ask any school children. We have so many in the temple, high school, university, how late sometimes they have to study. Exam times they have to burn the oil in the night, late nights. Many of them are doing that, right? It is not pleasant for them because they want some fun, they want to have relaxation, so which is coming up after December 23rd. Goes until 23rd this year, but I don't know. It's going to be a few pleasant days, then they got to study again to go back to school in January to write exams, because that's how high school work here. You have to study during your Christmas holidays. It is nothing too pleasant for them, but they have to invest in that. They have to do sometimes what is unpleasant to get to the pleasantness of life. Perhaps gave his advice to his father. He said, my father, all these ministers who are advising you, they just want to be around you and tell you good things. But I'm telling you today, there are few who will tell you the right things. And I'm doing that right now. Nari pai kirja phir jai jo, to na barai hirari, nahi nasan muk samar mahi tat kariya hati mari. If having recovered his bride, he withdraws, perhaps the saying, right? If having recovered his bride, Sita, and he withdraws, you should have no more quarrel with him, my father. If not, then father, meet him face to face on the battlefield and give him a tough fight. Meet him, but don't get his wife captured here. Ravan listened to this. When Ravan listened to his son speaking to him like that, now you may think that a son, this is not the place of a son. They should not speak like that to the father. That is rude. There is a difference between rudeness and there's a difference between rudeness and speaking bluntly what is truth. There's a big difference. Sometimes we want to think that, we are right, and so but rudeness is never ever tolerated in any relationship, not even relationship. Rudeness is not tolerated. It shouldn't be tolerated at all. It's a very, very poisonous thing as a human being to be rude to people. You can destroy people's life when you're rude to them. You never know what kind of day they're having, Ravan looked at his son. Ye mat jo manahu prabhu mora, abhaya prakar sujas jagat tora. Ravan says, Prahast, you fool, who has taught you such a wisdom? Who has given you such teachings? Let me ask you a question. Is this the first time an evil father and a good son are having a conversation? Let us not forget Hiranyakashipu and who? Prahalad. Remember Hiranyakashipu and Prahalad? When Hiranyakashipu taught Prahalad, he says, Prahalad, I am the God. Prahalad says, no, Dada, you are not God. Bhagwan Narayan is God. And he sent the boy to the school. He made his own school, and he made his own murti and all these kind of things. Prahalad says, no, Narayan is God. Narayan is God. And Prahalad, he tried to kill his son because he wanted his son to call him God, and his son was the only one not calling him God. When the love for power replaces the power of love, a human being is destroyed. A human being they're devoured when the love for power, but when the power of love replaces the love for power, this earth will be transformed into a heaven. That is when you will see Ram Bhagwan walking on the street. That is when you will see Shiv Bhagwan with his Trishul. When the power of love diminishes the love for power, the gods will walk on this earth. So that is a long time from now. Ravan, when he heard this, he says, my son, you fool, who had taught you this wisdom. And he went on and went on. With your mind already seized with fear, son, you approve yourself to be a prickly plant. And so he accused his son of course, being fearful and being a coward. Words of wisdom, words of good counsel are as much thrown away upon you as medicine on a sick man doomed to death. Seeing that it was evening now, Ravan turned to the palace, fondly glancing at his 20 arms, admiring his power. He did not listen to his wife. He did not listen to his son. He did not listen to all the good counsels that he had close to him. The ones who are closest to us can either help to raise us, and the one who are closest to us can sink us as well. How do you know though? Because these days you don't know who is who. How do you know when somebody is trying to help you or when they're trying to hurt you? How do you know? How do you know when someone is telling you something, they're praising you because they want to make you feel nice so you can like them? Or how do you know when somebody is telling you something, they're telling you for their own good? The point is, this journey of life has no one way of doing anything. There is no one way of raising your children. There is no one way of being a father. There is no one way of being a mother. There is no one way of learning. There is no one way or single answer for everything in life. Be close to God, and when you're close to God, the Lord helps you to make these decisions. When you're farther away from God, which Ravan was, right? The minute you entertain evil thoughts in the mind, your intellect will run away. Tulsidas tells that in Ramcharitmanas. When Ravan entertained the evil thought of stealing Mother Sita, the gods ran away from him. The protection of the gods left him. His intellect ran away from him. His mind ran away from him. And his strength ran away from him. There was nothing left to guide him. When our minds are set on doing evil things, wicked things, especially to hurt others, then the Lord's protection will never be with us. But the closer we are to God, our Prabhu, then His inspiration will help to guide our intellect, to guide our mind, to guide our actions. That is when we know whether we are being misled or whether we are being loved. It is my prayer this evening that all of us stay close to Bhagwan, and may Bhagwan bless all of you with health and strength, so that you will always understand right from wrong, evil from good, and friends from enemies. Bole Siyapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Man Mukur Sudhar Barno Raghubar Bimal Jasu Jodayak Phalchari Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumar Bal Buddhi Vidya Deho Mohi Harhu Kalesh Vikar राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान जी राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान जी जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिनु लोक उजागर राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमत निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा हाथ भद्र और ध्वजा विराजे कान्हे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजग विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्ष उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिया भरत सम सहस बदन तुम्हरो यश गावे अस कहि श्रीपति सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राज पर दीन्हा राम मिलाय राज पर दीन्हा राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान जी तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरि मुख माहि जल दिलांग गए दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे ते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिन पैस सब सुख है तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आप तीनों लोक हाकते भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुन नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, तासु अमित जीवन फल
पावे।
चारों युग पर ताप तुम्हारा है, पर सिद्धि जगत उजियारा।
साधु संत के तुम रखवारे,
असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता।
स्वर दीन जान के माता,
राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के
दुख बिसरावे।
अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाहि, जहाँ जन्म हरि
भक्त कहाई,
और देवता चित्त न धरहि। हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा। जो सुमिरे हनुमत बल
बीरा।
जय 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 हनुमान गुसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख। जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ
हृदय महदेरा,
ओ की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। पावन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय में बसहु सुरभूप सिया। भज रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बजरंगबली भगवान की जय। आटी यानि कानि च पापानि, जन्मान्तरकृतानि च, तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्ति।
आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। जाके बन से गिरिवर कापे, रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके। अंजनी पुत्र महाबल गाई, संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। देवी रघुनाथ बताए, लंका जार सिया सुध लाए। लंक सुकोट समुद्र सिखाए, जात पवन सुत बारन लाए। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की।
दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ।
कला की।
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनां सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरुर् साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। बोले गणपति भगवान की, गुरु महाराज की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की, सूर्यादि नवग्रह देवता की, लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, बाल कृष्ण लाल की, गंगा मैया की, यमुना मैया की, सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय, सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की जय, सरस्वती माता की जय, महालक्ष्मी माता की जय। जयकारा शेरवालीला बोल साचे दरबार की जय। देवों की देवादिदेव हर 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 महादेव शंभु नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 महादेव शंभो। सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सब कोई जय जय सीताराम, जय सिया राम। Thank you all for coming online. Nice to see everybody online as well. Shubhratri everyone. Have a very pleasant night ahead. Stay safe. Shubhratri. Good night.